I have I have a hot take slash yeah, whatever. So, remember that song, that Ariana Grande song, Break Up with Your Girlfriend? I'm bored. I don't remember the rest of the lyrics right now, but I remember the music video, and I think that the music video, or like at least the way that I remember the music video, it made it seem like the song was about kind of basically telling someone to cheat or break up with their girlfriend because I like it was because I want to get with you, like break up with your girlfriend because I want to have sex with you or whatever. And maybe that's it, and maybe the rest of the lyrics are very clear about that. But I just still I just had I haven't listened to the song in a while, but I just had this line come into my head, this break up with your girlfriend, cause I'm bored. And I think it's not I think especially like I'm bored. I have a theory. So I think that this is not, as I said, this I don't think this is about like this is someone telling like someone that they want to hook up with to tell up with their to break up with their partner so that they can hook up with them. I think that this is someone telling their friend to break up with their girlfriend, or even telling themselves that it's time to break up with their girlfriend because they're bored of the pattern, because they're bored of how this relationship is keeping them stuck in the same old pattern, is keeping them stuck in a state of being where they actually aren't meeting themselves fully, where they are holding themselves back from becoming their full and whole self and showing up in the world and for the world with the gifts that they've been given. And I'm saying that because that's how I feel and have felt. That's how I felt about myself, and that's how I sometimes feel, maybe more than often feel about other people. I get impatient when I think because I have discovered the magic of breaking up with people and ways of being that are holding me back, and make and like not that it's an easy thing for me, like the thing that makes it so um like cathartic is because it's been taking you a while, and it's not something you can do all the time. Like you also do have to like can't just be breaking up all the time. You do have to like then build and be your own person and like learn new ways of being and become comfortable in that until you have to break up with that again. It's just like basically breaking up means like just I don't know. I think breaking up is kind of also like a metaphor for evolving, for just breaking out of a skin that you've outgrown, that has gotten like too small for you, and you have to break up with that version of yourself so you can grow into the new version of yourself. And I the fact that I'm talking to you right now is a manifestation of that, because I I don't know how much I've talked about this here actually. Like I've definitely mentioned it, but I don't know how much I really talked about it. But I so in December of 2024, beginning of, yeah, like early December 2024, I broke up with someone who, like, arguably, like, I broke up with someone who had, like, who I was dating for a few months in the summer, like in 2022. So we met, we started dating in June of 2022, and then, like, had this very intense, super in love, like everything, like it's just like very, very intense, very, yeah, kind of, I don't know, transformative relationship for, or like, and like, yeah, romantic relationship for a couple of months until they told me that they would like to shift our relationship from romantic to platonic, because that, yeah, and like, so they didn't break up with me in as many words, but yeah, and because I have like very codependent tendencies, codependencies, no, I just, and like I had put them up on this huge pedestal. I I was like, fine, cool, let's do that. Also, another reason why I went with that is I because I think there's something very interesting that happens in kind of like non-normative ways of being in relationships. So like queer and non-monogamous relationships. I think we like we're in touch with ourselves enough to know that um let's take it back to, so we're in, yeah, okay, we're in touch with ourselves enough, or like informed about the world or whatever, like we have enough self-reflection and kind of critical consciousness to notice that certain ways of being are not in alignment with our values, so we break up with them, and then we seek out new ways of being in relationship, and we have a very cerebral way of going about it, because we still never learned to trust, like we didn't learn to trust our needs, our emotions, and even less so did we learn how to have healthy or generative conflict. So when we do enter into these relationships, like we still we or like in like when we stop being in monogamous relationship and start kind of having non-monogamous relationships, we will still 99% of the time like do like repeat the same patterns. Like we will still have like very binary ways of thinking, and the way that we deal with the conflict is by intellectualizing it, because obviously there will be conflict, because that's what being in relationship with someone else is. Because if I am in an authentic relationship with someone else, that means that I am my own person and they get to be their own person, meaning that we're two different people, and that us being two different people means that we're different, which will inevitably lead to some sort of conflict. Even if it's just small conflicts, but it will mean that like my needs or my wants will in some ways be different from yours. Just just because we are different people, just because we grew up with a different set of parents, with like, because our like way of being in the world, our way of understanding the world is inherently tied to our lived experience. So we see the world differently. So there will be conflict. And as long as we are scared of conflict, as long as we think that conflict, as long as we cannot hold conflict, as long as we don't learn that conflict is actually how we kind of foster intimacy, how we, um, yeah, like we've been told a lie. We've been told a lie that um, kind of the good life is one with little friction, with little conflict, or ideally not no conflict, no friction. That's what people in, especially like that's what people in the global north, um, white people specifically, and like we've been told that the ideal world is one without friction, where we don't have to wait for things to arrive, where we can access everything we want all of the time, and where, yeah, and like I'm kind of going off thing, but like as long as we're not like ready to hold conflict, and to understand that there, like, that two conflicting views doesn't mean that one of them doesn't mean that one has to be more right than the other. It's not a binary, it's not a hierarchy. Like, both things can be true at the same time. And it's just a matter of like a lot of the time it's not even so much about the, like, it doesn't even get to the point of the conflict, because like we push the things that would result in a conflict down. We intellectualize it. We don't let ourselves even have the feeling, because that would, like, because we don't, because we're actually scared. um because that's, anyway, what I'm trying to say, what how did I get here? I don't remember. But so I broke up with that person in December, after trying to be friends for 2 years, on and off, more on than off, but like still some of it was off. I mean, arguably a lot of it was off in terms of, like, we tried, like, we went, like, it's not, it wasn't, I wouldn't call it toxic, but it was delusional, at least, on my part. um and yeah, I the more, like, the more time I spent healing the relationship with myself, the more I noticed that that relationship was not in alignment with my values, and that it made me feel bad. Like, it felt disrespectful. Like, continuing to be in that relationship felt disrespectful to both me and all of my other relations. Um, so I had to break up with them, and it was hard. It was really hard. It felt like probably one of the hardest things like I had done in years. I don't know. It felt like a culmination of, it was about so much more than breaking up with them, right? It was about breaking up with a way of being in the world where I kind of created a hierarchy of realities, of like truths, opinions, and feelings, and in that hierarchy, I put my own experience, my own feelings, my own needs below someone else's, because that was what made me feel safe, because that's how I learned to be in relationship. and and I will continue to learn this lesson. This is not like, I am aware that this is not the last time that I've learned this lesson. I keep learning this lesson, but it was, in a way, it felt like graduating. Graduating from, it felt, you know what it did feel like? It felt like graduating from my Saturn return. That's what it felt like. And I will like, because like, I will keep coming back to this. I will keep doing this. Um, but I'm really, I don't know. I think it's exciting, kind of like. Anyway, so what am I even trying to say? Okay, yeah. So I broke up with them. It was fucking awful. Like, not how it went. Like, it was actually like, it was actually really beautiful, because, which made it even harder, because I have like, it wasn't the first time that I've had a similar conversation. It wasn't the first time that I went to them, or that we met up, um, under the circumstances that I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I have to tell you all of the things that I feel and that I need, and that I'm not like, that I'm not getting in this relationship, and kind of being ready, or close to ready, to having that be the last conversation, or being like, I'm gonna tell you that I'm like, I want to leave, and then they will be like, oh no, don't leave. And I'm like, and I'm like, oh, and then we're feeling connected again, and like, blah. Suddenly there will be intimacy, because suddenly we'll be feeling closer again, because duh, I was being honest about how I feel, and they were being honest about how it made them feel in that moment, but also didn't change anything. But we never, but our relationship didn't change, because I didn't change who I was in the relationship enough. So, and after doing this dance for over a year, or like, yeah, 1.5 years or longer, probably actually ever since we met. But like, that specific dance, after doing that for 1.5 years, I was like, I couldn't do it anymore. So and it's not just that I couldn't do it anymore. I didn't, I I knew that it was holding me back. I knew that, like, I was ready for a new version of myself, and that I was holding on, like, that they were kind of like how I was holding on to that old version. And so I broke up with them, and it was hard. um and then, almost like, not even a month later, I started making YouTube videos, something that I have wanted to do for, yeah, over a decade. And I always felt like, I don't know, and I feel like I feel like I always found new ways of kind of like, making myself not do that. Like, they were like, I don't know. I'm kind of stop. I kind of want to stop talking, because I've been talking for a while. But I, if I hadn't broken up, if I had not broken up with them, I would not be here right now. I would not be here telling you this. I would not have been making these YouTube videos. There are so many things that I wouldn't be doing right now. So much I need, like, yeah, so many ways in which I wouldn't have met myself. I and I wouldn't feel like I had to let go of that relationship so that I could embrace the relationship to myself. That's what it was. I was healing the relationship to myself, and I noticed that continuing to be in this relationship with that person, it felt like it was hurting the relationship to myself. It felt like I was hurting myself and being disrespectful to myself. And yeah, I once I noticed, like once I really, it took a while for me to realize that. And I think also I kind of hoped that other people would tell me. It was like I was constantly feeling like whenever I talked about that person to my friends, I felt bad because I was kind of, because if someone else, because I kind of put myself into, or like I didn't really put myself in the shoes of the other person, but like I thought that if the roles were reversed, I would be fucking sick of it. I would be the person to be like, break up with them. I'm fucking bored. I am bored of you telling me about this person that like isn't treating you the way that you deserve to be treated. I'm bored of you making yourself small. I am bored. I am bored of listening to you pity yourself because you're too scared of being yourself. That's what I think the song is about. I just remembered that's what I started talking about. So I think break up with your girlfriend, I am bored, is not so much like it's not as scandalous as the song is received. Again, this is just me interpreting this one line because I can't be bothered to look up the rest of it, and that's not what this is about. So break up. Break up with that person, break up with that job, break up with that way of talking to yourself. Break up because I'm fucking bored. Like, and you are too. You are bored of it. You are bored of doing the same thing and not getting anywhere. I know you are, because I am. I'm bored for you. But I'm also so excited for you to embrace that new version of myself, of yourself, to break out of this old skin. And it will be tender. Like, that's what happens when you shed a skin, the new one's tender, you know, like, and it takes a while, like, but as when it's, as long as it's tender and soft, it's kind of like that's, it's still like flexible, it's moldable, it's like, anyway, I'm I'm moving into different metaphors and I kind of want to stop. So that was my hot take. It was not, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's still hot because it's been almost 24 minutes of me talking, because so at this point it's more like lukewarm lukewarm take. But yeah, that's my take anyway. Yeah, I don't know why I do so much better filming like this when I'm without a proper setup, like just phone in my hand. um it's like less good video quality but more like better, like, you know, like actual content, if that makes sense. Yes, it makes sense, it makes sense. Stop there. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if any of you needed to hear that. um I'm pretty sure, like, if there's someone listening to this, someone needed to hear that. And I wish you the best of luck, and go out there and break some hearts. No, but, you know, just, life's too short. Life's too short to make yourself small. Life's too short to wait around for people who are never gonna love you the way that you would like them to, because that's not what the relationship is about. The relationship is not about actually getting what you need. It's about getting what you want, and what you want is programmed. Like you're programmed to want something that isn't actually good for you. So go forth and be yourself and grow and expand and just, yeah. I'm so excited about all of the people kind of growing more into themselves and becoming bigger. It's just so exciting. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.